In January 1959, 9 hikers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute embarked on a challenging expedition into the Ural Mountains in the Soviet Union. Led by Igor Dyatlov, the group aimed to reach a remote peak called Kholat Syakhl, meaning Dead Mountain in the Mansi language. The team, composed of experienced mountaineers, began their journey with high spirits, documenting their progress through photos and journals. They set out on January 27, intending to return by February 12. On January 31, they reached the edge of a highland area and decided to store extra supplies in a cache before proceeding. The next day, they began trekking through a pass, but lost their way due to worsening weather and poor visibility. They ended up on the eastern slope of Kholat Syakhl, and rather than descending to the forested area below, chose to set up camp on the slope. This decision would be their last. When the group failed to return as planned, search efforts began. On February 26, rescuers found their campsite. The scene was puzzling and disturbing. The hikers' tent was torn open from the inside, and their belongings, including warm clothing, boots, and equipment, were left behind. Tracks in the snow, made by bare or lightly covered feet, led to a forest about 1.5 kilometers away. At the forest's edge, beneath a cedar tree, searchers found the first 2 bodies, both shoeless and dressed in minimal clothing. Nearby, broken branches suggested they had climbed the tree, possibly in desperation or to scout the area. A small fire had been lit, but it wasn't enough to fend off the freezing temperature. 3 more bodies were discovered between the cedar tree and the campsite, spaced apart as though they were trying to return to the tent. The positions of their bodies suggested they had succumbed to hypothermia. The final 4 hikers were found 2 months later deeper into the forest and buried under snow in a ravine. Unlike the others, these bodies exhibited gruesome injuries. 1 had a fractured skull, and 2 had severe chest trauma likened to the force of a high-speed crash. Yet no external wounds matched the internal damage. 1 woman was missing her tongue and eyes. Strangely, some of their clothing was found to contain traces of radiation. The Soviet investigation concluded that the group died due to a compelling natural force. However, the true cause of their deaths remains unknown. Theories range from an avalanche, katabatic winds, and infrasound-induced panic to secret military tests, radiation exposure, and even extraterrestrial involvement. The hikers' bizarre injuries, torn tent, and strange behavior in their final moments have fueled speculation for decades. The Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the most chilling and enduring unsolved mysteries in modern history.